ever wondered where your food comes from? Of course, it's in your best interest to make sure you aren't harming your body with the foods you eat. So, are you? Chances are, yes. Most people consume something called genetically modified foods every day. You might be wondering what genetically modified food is. Genetically modified foods, also called genetically modified organisms or GMOs, are foods whose DNA has been altered in laboratories. In the lab, these foods undergo a process called genetic engineering. It begins with a strand of DNA from an organism that contains a gene coding for a specific desirable trait. Let's call it pest resistance. Using restriction enzymes, which act like scissors to cut DNA at a specific sequence, the gene is removed. Plasmids, which are independent strands of DNA that are able to move in and out of cells, are cut using the same restriction enzyme and attached to the gene. The plasmid with the new gene coding for pest resistance is inserted into bacteria that is allowed to multiply. In this process, some plasmids were produced with the wrong gene, or maybe no gene at all. These plasmids are not wanted, so the replicated bacteria undergoes a process known as gel electrophoresis to separate the desired plasmids from the undesired plasmids. As a result of this, you are left with plasmids that contain genes coding for pest resistance, and scientists are able to insert them into different plants. This can be done with a variety of different traits, and can be done with plants or animals. The product of genetic engineering can be mass-produced through selective breeding, where humans breed specific plants or animals, or through mutation breeding, where plant seeds are exposed to chemicals that result in the growth of a plant with a new trait. Now that they have crops that don't require the use of pesticides, the food they sell in the grocery stores will be safe and healthy, right? Wrong. The primary goal of genetically modified foods is to save the farmers money by cutting down on pesticides and alternative costs. So what's in it for the consumer? Nothing but a load of health risks. There are many hidden health effects of genetically modified food. Genetically modified food can be linked to many health problems in both consumers and producers. It has been found that they can cause severe reactions in those who handle or are exposed to the food during production. If that isn't bad enough, it has also been found to cause allergies in those who do consume it. In a study conducted, rats were force-fed genetically modified tomatoes, which were altered to look fresher for a longer period of time. After 28 days of eating the tomatoes, all of the rats had bleeding stomachs, and 7 of them even died. In another study, rats were fed BT corn, which is modified to last longer and resist pests. At the end of 90 days, the rats suffered allergies, infections, anemia, and many other problems. You might be thinking, those are just rats. Humans will be immune to this. Well, for a long time, rats have been considered suitable test subjects as they react to chemicals in similar ways to humans, meaning that humans can be just as susceptible to these effects. Additionally, observational studies have shown the horrible effects of genetically modified food. In India, workers collecting, weighing, and packaging BT corn have displayed serious health problems, including itching, swelling, dizziness, and other problems resulting in hospitalization. In the Philippines, 100 Filipinos living in a village adjacent to a BT cornfield became ill, suffering from headaches, fevers, and intestinal and skin reactions. Some may argue that an observational study can simply not prove anything, but when these people were subjected to blood tests, it was revealed that there was an antibody response to the toxin in BT corn, meaning that the corn was likely the cause. Now that you have heard the results of a few studies involving genetically modified food, has your opinion about it changed? In America and Canada, 85% of corn, 88% of cotton, and 91% of soybeans are genetically modified. These are products consumed every day, present in bread, oils, and other commonly consumed foods. Many different diseases have been on the rise ever since grocery stores increased the amount of genetically modified food being sold, as you can see highlighted in red. The chemical inserted into BT corn even causes insects' stomachs to explode. Do you really want to be putting this stuff into your body? Stay safe. Say no to GMOs.